Okay, hi everyone. As stated, I'm Nicolas Rempulski. I'm the CTO of a small startup located in La Rochelle called Ubidreams. Ubidreams is specialized in web application development, web applications which are deployed to a website, mobile website, but also to native application for mobile devices. Nanoko, it's the second year Nanoko is presented in the project spotlight in the OW2con'14. Last year we did a very in-depth inspection of the features of Nanoko. This year I didn't want to reproduce the same pattern, as the features have not dramatically moved or evolved from Nanoko in this year. I will just have a report of the experiences we have with a web application build process, which is the aim of Nanoko for the beginning, and give you a small report of the battlefront, which is the build process for web applications. So I will start my story with Once Upon a Time. In 2012, Ubidreams, which was created in 2008, decided to orient its development team to the cross-platform field. Our objective, as we are a small team, we have 6 developers, we wanted to address our client needs to deploy their applications on website and also on a native platform. But with 6 developers, we couldn't handle a specialty for iOS, specialty for Android, specialty for HTML platform. So we had to find a solution. The solution was quickly found, as the multi-canal nightmare was unavoidable if we wanted to go full native. We decided finally to have a model where we will develop one application, and at the packaging phase we will build all the application we need. There was only one solution for us at the time. It was web application that we could distribute on the web, which is a classical vector for web application, but also that we could deploy on native marketplace for mobile devices with the help of a framework which is called Cordova, aka Phonegap, which was started in 2010. So the stack we chose, the technological stack we chose, was the HTML platform, HTML, JavaScript, CSS, and for the packaging, classical deployment of web application or native packaging for web store. So as we choose the web platform as a mean of creating an application, we needed one thing more. We needed tools to help our developer or development team to improve their productivity. Improve their productivity in the sense of entering the project management paradigm, to be able to segment a project into functionalities that we can broadcast to developer, which will then merge their functionalities to create the application. And we needed also tools to aggregate all the technology we have around HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. For instance, there is a lot of language that generate JavaScript. I can cite TypeScript, I can cite CoffeeScript, and so on, at a script that is coming with Angular 2. All these technologies could be interesting for small point in the project or for the whole project, but there is a compile process to take in charge to generate the JavaScript source. Same thing goes for the style sheets, in the sense of there is a CSS, which is the base, and all class of language like less, like Sass, that allow the developer to enhance its productivity by giving him a good idiom to develop. But again, there is a packaging phase, there is a compilation phase, there is a code quality phase that we have to take in charge. So we decided to develop our own product to handle all this needed process. The problem was in the early 2012, there wasn't the massive disponibility of tools as there is today. As I will show you later. Today, you have, if you want to build a web application, if you want to create a stack with a lot of technology, you have the tools to do it. In 2012, we didn't identify those tools as they were still in the process of the making. So during mostly for 1 year, we built step by step our tools. It's not a one-time development where the full team was during 1 year developing Nanoko. It was development with feature as needed. When we needed to add a unit test to our tools, we implemented it. When we needed CoffeeScript, we implemented it, and so on, until the product was in a state when we could publish it and propose it to other people. So the first release of Nanoko was containing all this aspect. There was dependency management, which was able to retrieve enterprise component or third-party libraries on the web. There was satellite technologies. I call satellite technologies all technologies around JavaScript and CSS, as I stated before. Assets optimization, it's meant for PNG, JPEG, HTML optimization. Code quality, to check with JS int, CSS int, what are the quality of the code, and also unit tests with a library called Jasmine. And finally, the packaging. Packaging for the web app is not really difficult. It's the production zip that we can send to a server and unzip, and we have the application. Those functionalities allow us to, as I stated, have a good project management process. We can do Agile without having to spend too much time on the architecture. Code reuse. So when we develop a component for a project, for instance, a login component, we can deploy it to an artifact repository and reuse it as it is on another project. We could branch our web application to our continuous integration process to release automatically our application. And finally, we are library and framework agnostic, so we don't impose a technology to use with a project. The result is Coffee Mill, a Maven plugin to handle the build process of a web application. We propose also a runtime library, JavaScript library called Ubu. Ubu is a client-side implementation of the OSGI norm, which allows dependency injection of JavaScript components. It allows also adaptation to the platform and to the environment. So the web app can declare lots of components, but just a few of them can be activated at the runtime, depending if it runs on iOS native, iOS mobile, Windows on the desktop, and so on. Whether the application is running, it can be adapted. So we released on the Valentine's Day of 2013 a first version of Nanoko. It was also accepted at the OW2 project. The next step was at the end of the year 2013, we released the 1.2 version codenamed Need for Speed, where we improved mostly the performance. At the OW2con 2013 last year, we won the Innovation Award. And during March of this year, we released the 1.3 codenamed Node-House, which is a switch to the Node.js for the running of the compilation of a web application. So this is explanation of how we built Nanoko. I just wanted to give you a few points of feedback and highlights on the project. Nanoko today is 2 years old from the beginning of the first implementation. It is used daily by our team, 6 dev, and it was used during this year on approximately 20 projects, going from small projects, small web application, to big project. The goals we set at the beginning are met. We have the code quality that we wanted for our web application. We are able to modularize our application and reuse the code from one project to another, thus capitalizing on the development, and the productivity of our development team is very satisfying. The features we add are mostly as needed by our team. As the time pass and the features are needed, we add them and push them upstream to the open source repo as when we have the time. When we have the time, because going open source costs us a lot of time for a small team like we are. We have some difficulty to be identified. Nanoko in front of a framework like AngularJS, like React.js, like Grunt, and so on. It's hard to, without marketing, without money to do the marketing, to be identified, and thus our visibility is quite low. It's quite low because in front of us we have giants like Google, Facebook, and so on. So the first feedback is going open source was the best decision for Nanoko. We have feedback from the community. We have features which are pushed to Nanoko, but it's not the big adoption we could see on other frameworks. The dependency management is really what we needed, as the systems that are now leader, and principally Bower and NPM, use the same system as we are. We use Maven dependency. The only points of difference is the loose dependency model of Bower and NPM. By loose, I mean a version that is released, like 1.1, can be erased, which in Maven paradigm doesn't arrive. We have quite some difficulty to capitalize on other libraries, as there is not a culture in the web to deploy a Nexus repository with Maven. Early, it was normal because Sonatype doesn't accept JS artifact, but now with WebJars, we can do that. But it's quite too late. There is already NPM and Bower that are aligned on those track. Dependency injection was also the way we were true on this side. AngularJS does dependency injection. It's really a fluent way to adapt an application to the platform. We enter with the service pattern which come from OSGI and our library Ubu. We collided with the module pattern of JavaScript. When you do dependency injection with module pattern, you don't have the need to use OSGI service declaration. Service declaration in JavaScript is quite complex, as there is no introspection. You can't have an interface such as in Java. You have to use a JSON object that you call a contract and use it as it. In my opinion, it's the only way, because OSGI and dependency, the service pattern is not widely used in a web application today. Finally, the build process was also the way to go, because today we have the tools that we have in Nanoko are also on the big build process manager, namely Yeoman, Grunt, and NPM. The plus of those build process instead of Nanoko is they use JavaScript file for configuration, and for JavaScript developer, it's the best way. So finally, what is Nanoko future? Nanoko is used today in the Wisdom Framework build process, which is Wisdom Framework was pitched by Clément Escoffier at this share last year. It's OSGI server-side framework, which now include part of Nanoko for building this web asset. We will integrate more and more satellite technologies. As at script.com, it will be handled by Nanoko. And also we have, for visibility, to have more showcase of leader technology, namely Angular and React.js. Thank you very much.
Thank you.